In today's video, I'm answering a question that I get asked all the time: what camera should I buy? Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to try and help you answer a question that I get asked all the time, which is, what camera should I buy? So I'm going to show you the process that I go through when I am thinking about getting a new camera. So first things first, I apologize about the setting. We are in lockdown here in Sydney again, and so I'm forced to film in this office, which is not ideal, but it is what it is, so we just carry on. So this question that I get asked all the time, which is, which camera should I buy? Actually, the question that I get is, what's a good camera to buy? And that's not really a question that makes any sense because it's 2021. What's a good camera to buy? All of them. They're all good. Nobody makes bad cameras these days. But it really depends on what you want. So I think the question should be, what camera should I buy, or what camera should you buy? So that's what I'm going to try and help you answer today. Now, there is going to be some work that you are going to do because you need to have come down to a list of cameras that you get to choose from. So you're going to have to do a little bit of research, but I'm going to walk you through the whole thing, so there's no need to worry. The first thing that I need you to do, though, is I need you to get some pen and paper. And what we're going to do, and this is the process that I still follow today when I'm buying a new camera. So we are going to get, I don't know if you can see that, I'll put a graphic up on the screen just in case, but we've got 5 lines going down to make some columns, and then we've got a couple of areas down the bottom here. I don't know if you can see that. So we're going to write some things in there. Okay, so now the first thing that you need to understand is that you need to have a list of cameras that you're already considering purchasing. But if you don't know anything about cameras and you haven't got anything already, you're going to have to do a little bit of research. And the best way that I found to do the research is to use a site called Adorama.com. And I'll put a link in the description, but it is a site there. It's a camera website. They sell cameras, and but one of the good things about them is that you can pick manufacturers and then you can sort by price. So that is the first thing that I'm going to suggest that you do, is click on any of the big manufacturers. Okay, so when you go into the website, you'll be able to pick a manufacturer. So maybe just stick with the big ones: Canon, Sony, Nikon or Nikon, depending on where you are in the world, Olympus, anyone a well-known brand. And then when the list of cameras appears, just sort by price, and then find your price point what you can afford. And then if anything below that, those are going to be the candidates. And just basically just go down the list, have a look to see if anything catches your eye, and we're going to make a short list of cameras that sort of interest you. So that's the first thing that you need to do. So you're going to have to put those cameras in the first column over here. So we're going to label that cameras, and we're going to list that down there. Okay, so that is the first thing that you need to do. Okay, so what we want to do next is we want to write down the things that we're going to do with the camera, because we want to match the camera to your requirements. So what do you want to do? Do you want to do sports photography? Do you want to do portraits? Do you want to do family photography? Do you want to do macro photography? Okay, so you need to list down all those things. Now, if you say, I just want to do a little bit of everything, that is a legitimate response as well. So what I want you to do is write all those things in here, as many as you can think of, write them in this section of the paper. Okay, the next thing that I do is I want to list down the functions that I need in that camera. Now, most of them are going to obviously take photographs, but if you want a specific type of video, like say slow-mo video, for example, if you need a flippy screen, if you want a built-in intervalometer, if you want a pop-up flash, all those things you need to write down in the other section on the bottom of that piece of paper. So these are going to be your functions. Over here, we want to write down the things that we want to do with the camera. And over here, we write down all the things that we want, or all the features that we want the camera to have. Okay, so go ahead and list those things now. Okay, so we've got a bit of information already on our piece of paper. It's time to start filling the columns down. And I'm going to give you the titles. So the first title of the first column is going to be camera. So you're just going to list down the short list. Okay, get it down to, I don't know, probably no more than 10 cameras, but just list them down in here. And then on the next one, the next column, we're going to call that purpose. Okay, which is what do you want to do with the camera. Then the next one is going to be the features of the camera. So call it features, and we'll get to these columns in a second. But if you've got camera, purpose, and features, write that down And what we're going to do now is we are going to go down the list of the cameras, and we are going to tick next to in these columns over here whether it meets all of the requirements that you need as far as what you want to do with the camera and what features you want that camera to have. Okay, so go ahead and start going down that list. Okay, so what we have now is a list of cameras that either meet the requirement or do not meet your minimum requirement for a camera. So the ones that do not meet the requirement, we are just going to exclude them for the rest of the video. We're just going to concentrate on the ones that do. We are going to move on to the next columns now. The next column is ergonomics. So now what we want to do is, and this is where it's going to take a little work from your side of things, is you are going to have to pick up the camera, because this is where you're really going to be able to tell whether the camera is right for you. Let me show you something. Let me just grab something. Okay, so this is an Olympus OMD EM5, and if you look at the back of this camera, it's a beautiful little camera, but it is a little bit too small. It doesn't quite fit my hands properly, so it never feels quite comfortable. The buttons, they're too close together, and they're a little bit smooshy, so you can't even tell when it's actually registered when you push the button, and they're just hard to get to. And I don't have I've got normal size hands, but even for my hands, it's just not really that comfortable. And that's something that's really, really important, and it's going to determine how much you use the camera. Let me show you another camera. So this is my Canon 5D Mark IV, and it's much bigger and it's much heavier, and it's not as easy to carry as the Olympus, but this fits in my hand a lot more comfortable. It just fits and it sort of wraps around my hands. So it's sort of like buying a pair of shoes. Okay, you need to pick up the camera and just see how that feels in your hand to see if it's comfortable or not. Okay, so now again we go back to our piece of paper and we look at the ergonomic column that we put in there, and we just tick that off. Did it feel right or did it not? And anything that felt good in the hand, that goes on to the next column, and anything that didn't, trust me, you want to exclude it at this point, because it will be a problem. It just doesn't seem like a problem at this point, but it will be a problem in the future. Okay, so we're down to the last column here, which is the feel column. Okay, we're going to put the last one there. Now, this column here is, I call it the feel column because I don't know how else to describe it, but it is, how does the camera make you feel? I've just had a go at this camera telling you how terrible it is. And yet, when I pick it up, there is something about it. When I walk past it, it sits on a shelf on my office. But every time I walk past it, it makes me feel like picking it up and taking some photos with it, just going out. And often I do that just because I've looked at it and it just makes me feel like that. There's something about it. Even though the buttons are too close and are a little bit smooshy, the video on it is terrible. The screen only flips up one way, so it's kind of useless. And the resolution is not really that great. But I look at this, and it makes me want to go out and take photographs. So that counts for a lot as well. And you're not going to be able to tell how you feel about a camera unless you actually go see it. The same thing with the ergonomics. You're going to have to go in there and get your short list and then go and pick up the camera. Maybe, if they let you take a few shots with it as well, just take a few shots, see how it feels and how it makes you feel as well. So that's the process that I follow even to this day after owning many cameras. If I'm going to buy a new camera, that is pretty much what I go through even today. So hopefully it's been of help to you if you are either looking to get a new camera or you're a beginner, or you get asked this question. Maybe you can forward this video to somebody else to try and help them out. Now, if you like this video, please don't forget to give the video a like. It makes a massive difference to me, as it's a confirmation that I'm making videos that you enjoy watching. So please do make sure that you click that like button. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, consider doing so. I make videos like this all the time to help you with photography. And if you don't want to miss out on any of those, click the subscribe button, click the little notification bell, and you'll be notified when I upload the new video. Also, if you have any questions or you need me to elaborate on anything, the comment section below, that's probably the best place to get a hold of me, as well as all the usual social media platforms. You'll find all the links in the description. If I could just remind you also, there is ministryofphoto.com. That's a website where you're going to find a link to all of my videos. There's blog articles in there, there's tutorials. I've just uploaded a massive PDF or a massive article, which is an introduction to Lightroom, and it goes through all the sliders and all the buttons and what everything does. So if you want to check that out, it's completely free. I'll leave the link below, but it's ministryofphoto.com. Make sure you check it out. So that's the end of the video. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this. Again, please don't forget to like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.